Okay, we ready?
Yes.
I'm so ready.
All
I was
right.
born ready.
I should hit slideshow view.
Born to pod.
You were
Days
born
are
ready.
born.
I was born yesterday.
Hell yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Don't Even Get Me Started, a podcast about presentations about stuff. My name is Connor. I will be presenting today. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Ray and Ethan. Introduce yourselves.
Hello.
Hi.
That's going to be some great audio.
It's happening. It's happening right now. We're taking over the radio stations. My pronouns are any and all.
Oh.
Ray.
I use she, they pronouns.
Connor.
I don't really any and all, I guess. Today we're talking about an event called the Bone Wars. Ethan and Ray, do you know anything about this?
I don't think so.
I know something about this, but I'll pretend not to for dramatic effect.
Fair enough. I figured you would at least know vaguely what it is. It's not really an obscure thing.
I'm sure it came up in Dino Camp.
It probably. If you open any dinosaur book, there's almost guaranteed there'll be at least a little section on it.
Do you think it would have ever been taught in intro anthropology courses?
Probably not.
Okay, then I definitely would never have seen anything of it.
May have come up once, but probably not.
Yeah, maybe. I'm doing a little bit of paleo stuff now, but it's socio-paleo, so it's not really bones.
So it's a lame paleo.
It's gay paleo, okay?
Yeah, who cares about that? Dinosaurs
What
are
do you
way
mean? Oh yeah, that's fair. What if
What do you mean by
dinosaurs were also
gay paleo? What the hell does that mean?
It's well, first of all, we're looking at a Hottentot.
A what?
Hottentot
What?
Venus. Have you never seen that before?
I have no idea what that word means.
What did you just say to me?
Hottentot.
You just call me a
Venus.
slur?
Yeah.
Hottentot Venus.
It's like
Is that
a
the Greek goddess
it's a-
of beauty and an interesting outfit?
Yeah. It was I forgot what time period. It might have been the 1800s,
Sorry,
but
Roman.
it's this lady that had quote unquote very exotic features. She just had more eccentric hips, ass, boobs kind of stuff. And so she was put on display. It's more curating anthropology because her remains were preserved and they weren't given back to the people, but that was more of the exotic body. And it doesn't have. There's other queer theory, but the
I've
hermaphrodite
heard of this
as well.
lady.
Yeah.
That's
It's-
not
that was also-
paleontology.
Well, we also look at paleontology.
This was the 19th
wasn't
century. This isn't paleontology.
I guess that's
at all.
fair. All right, we briefly mentioned paleontology.
This is just anthropology. Right.
All right, fair enough.
It is paleontology, but
Sorry, I think I meant
anthropology with
biological
extra
paleontology. My bad. I'm sorry, Ethan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
steps. No, it's fine. I'm going to be honest. Everything you said to me kind of just whizzed out one ear and out the other, so I think we should just do a presentation on it.
I'll do a presentation on Hottentot body, Venus.
I still don't understand what you're saying. I need to see
It's just the name. It's just the name. I'll post a picture.
I'm sure
and
it's
then-
just a name. I believe you, but I cannot comprehend what you're saying to me.
If it helps, I don't think it means anything specifically. It doesn't have I don't know if it has a Latin root to it, but it's just they never tell you what it means. They just say, hey, this is Hottentot Venus. We're like, okay, that's cool, I guess. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
That's next year.
Next year. Yeah, no, what is anthropology but paleontology, or with extra steps? Or wait, no, I said it the other way around.
They're completely different studies.
Bones.
While paleontology can be applied to anthropology, they are not synonymous words. Paleoanthropology is a thing, but they're not synonymous. That's the cool anthropology.
That's the cool. I'm short circuiting right now. I don't know what's going on.
That's the cool.
Anyways, why don't we get to the subject at hand?
Yes, please, thank you.
A presentation that has taken me a week longer to prepare than I should have. If I missed anything, go back and listen to the episode. I didn't forget. You forgot. It's there. Please
right.
like and subscribe. So, in order to understand the Bone Wars, we must first understand paleontology at the mid to late 19th century. So, at this time, people are kind of figuring out how the Earth works. William Smith, the actor, has published his works on the geological maps of England, which has made people understand rocks better. This involves stratigraphy and relative dating. This is not the actor. That was a joke that neither of you laughed for. Not Will
I
Smith.
didn't. I didn't know William Smith was an actor.
He's not. I was making a Will Smith joke. None of you laughed, so it was like that joke went right over your
I
heads.
was like, was Will Smith a doctor?
No.
I can't remember.
It's not that
His full
guy.
name is William Smithillian.
That's true.
No, Smithsonian. William Smithsonian.
But yeah, that was a joke that neither of you responded to. So I was like, I gotta clarify that he wasn't actually an actor.
So, well, Ethan's already clearly short-circuited it, so I don't know how. How
am I the
responsive
most
he'll be.
coherent today? I'm on way too much caffeine and slept for like 4 hours last night, and yet I'm the most coherent.
That's yeah.
I believe in you. The necessity to produce this episode has given you the willpower to just get through it.
I'm
do it.
I have like my third cup of Earl Grey with me, so if I start descending into delirium, that's why. Anyways,
That's
good
fine
old
with me.
Will Smith of YouTube Rewind fame made that map in 1815.
Absolute slapper.
It's rewind time, baby. Mary Anning has also done most of her work at this point. I don't believe she's dead, but
Queen.
Single note. Queen.
yeah, we love Mary Anning. Most
She
of that,
slay.
Mary Anning's a presentation for a different day, so I didn't want to get too far into it. But she found a lot of plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs mostly, also a bunch of other stuff in England. But she was mostly ignored at the time because woman. But not entirely.
As we all know, women are not real.
That's true.
Yeah, no, my brain's far too fried to do the tongue twister.
Ethan, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You're
Which
not
one?
even that
I
late.
woke up at 7. I don't normally wake up at 7.
Hey, that's not that late or early, dog.
I also woke up at 7.
Yeah, I woke up at probably 6 or
We
7.
wake
Yeah.
up at like 10.
I think 6:30 is when I woke up, actually.
Well,
I'm clearly
yeah,
pathetic.
me too, actually. No, well,
Anyway,
that's true.
she
We all knew
sells seashells by the seashore. I
Yes.
can't
Sally
say
sells
any
seashells at the
faster than that.
seashore. At the seashore? I almost
No.
got it.
No, Mary Anning
Sally
sells
sells
them.
seashells at the seashore.
Mary Anning is she sells the seashells. She
Sells the seashells at the seashore?
That's her. She's the.
Do you guys know the one smart fella, he felt smart?
One fart smeller? Yeah.
Damn it, I was hoping you would actually try it.
I hope you know any listeners that may have had it
grubheads.
dropped off at this point.
Like, oh god, they're never going to talk about bones.
We've had worse starts. Like, look at this. 10 minutes into the recording, we are already 2 slides deep. No, we've
That's-
spent like
that's
half
a
an hour on
record!
banter.
That's-
That's a record, dude.
We're
Probably
on
the furthest
we're on
we've
the
gotten.
first slide, other than the
This is
title
the
slide.
Well, other than the
second
title.
slide.
The title
don't sell yourself
counts.
short. That
I
title
su-
counts.
I suppose.
It's like the big
spent at
fancy
least 2
the
seconds
that
on the title.
SpongeBob writes. That counts as a word. All right, you gotta add that to the word count. It's in there.
Touche.
It's the
John
worst joke.
Phillips.
Mary Anning did most of her work, or at least her most famous work, from 1811 to 1822. The geologic time scale was drawn up by John Phillips, who played the Third Doctor. He didn't.
That's
That was
right.
John Pertwee. That was a very labored reference.
That was the worst reference.
I'm gonna
in the
cut
list.
that. That wasn't funny. My brain was trying to rack some kind of joke about him, and then I couldn't think of anything. It was the best I got.
Well, yeah, I can't help you out with that. I'm sorry.
Look, I finished this presentation
Sonic
15
screwdriver,
minutes ago,
more
okay?
like bones.
Has the Doctor ever
You
done a
make it-
dinosaur episode?
Actually, John Pertwee had a dinosaur episode. When it
There
was,
you go. Connection.
Dude!
Nailed it, dude. High five.
I believe it was lost for a time, but I think they have
I
it
don't know if
back
it was.
now.
That's probably really loud.
Yeah, dude, I found classic Doctor Who. It's on Tubi. I'm gonna watch it all. I'm not gonna like
Piracy
it, but I gotta
is
watch
sick,
it.
Like-
baby.
like-
No, this is not even
like,
piracy. It's legal. It's
Like
It's
Doctor
legal,
Who
I
1
swear.
to 8?
what? Oh yeah,
like
actually
1
it
to
is
8?
1 to 8. Yeah. Well, 8 sort of doesn't count, but
Okay.
8's the movie. That's Paul McGann. But no, it's the original from the 60s, although it looks like a couple episodes are missing from his run. Also, you know, all those episodes that don't exist anymore from the first and second Doctor's run are not in there. But
Historical preservation.
most of it's
folks.
there.
Kind.
So I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to like it, but I'm going to watch it.
It's a necessity at this point.
The geological time scale was drawn up in 1841 by John Phillips. It gets altered quite a bit over time because we're still kind of learning where things go. And radioisotope dating is not a thing yet. So we don't really know exactly how old things are. At this point... Sorry?
Well, I was wondering that it's longer than 6,000 years.
It's a lot older than that. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think they kind of... Some people were pretty sure it was older than that at this point, but the church is still very much important in this. Well, not really to this story, but like just science as a whole, it's still pretty important at this time. But it's not really important to this story. Dinosaurs at this point are known and named about. Up in the top is a very early depiction of a dinosaur. This is the very first one. Do you guys know what the first 3 dinosaurs named are?
I know what that one is.
Which one is it?
Iguanodon.
Incorrect. But that's the second one. That's the second one.
God.
You got 1 out of 3, but that's not Iguanodon. At least I don't think it is.
I changed the intensity of the RGB on my keyboard with those slams.
This is Megalosaurus, named by...
Did your computer just completely change color? It changed, like, shift in color?
Well, there's a button I can press on the keyboard that, like, shifts how bright it is. It's got, like, three settings plus off. And every time I bashed it, it went to off, then the lowest setting, then slightly brighter.
This is just great audio for this recording.
That's insane. Yeah, no kidding. Man. Ugh.
This is going to be a very unfocused episode.
You know, at least it's not skin wrapped, you know? We're a little bit creative.
It does have some meat on it, yeah. So that's Megalosaurus, named by William Buckland in 1824. Wow. Iguanodon was the second in 1825, and Hylaeosaurus was named in 1833.
And there on the bottom, we have a featherless biped.
A man.
A man.
We'll come back to this one. Obviously, Megalosaurus did not look like this. We had surpassed, at this point, the understanding that they looked like this. But I decided to put it up here. This is one of the original Crystal Palace statues.
Hell yeah.
At some point, Ethan, we're going here. At some point. You're coming with me to this.
I'm not going
I'm not coming.
Fucking England. Fuck that shit.
You're coming with me. We're going to look at the Crystal Palace statues.
I'm not going across the Atlantic Ocean. You can look at them just fine on the internet, dude.
Iguanodon and Hylaeosaurus were both named by Gideon Mantell. I had to get that out. But Richard Owen, who is the guy who built these things, he came up with the word dinosaur in 1841 and combined these 3 into that family. But yeah, anyways, sorry, Ray, you were saying?
No, I'll say it now. I'll say it, but I was trying to find, okay. My anthropology professor went to the museum in Britain, and when she saw the Sphinx beard on display, she got really, like, upset that it was there, and then the museum kicked her out because she was like, why the fuck is this here? This doesn't belong here.
I'm pretty sure that one was given to them. They didn't even steal that one, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. Maybe it was a different one.
I may be misremembering, but a lot of that stuff, especially from Egypt, was actually given to them. That being said, they also stole a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I'm not denying that, but I'm pretty sure that one.
Yeah.
I also might be completely misremembering. I might be thinking of a different thing.
I mean, I might have wrote down what she said, but
I don't know.
There's also a few instances where she's been kicked out of places, but I might have gotten that one mixed up with a different one.
Don't quote me on that. That that one may have been yoinked, but. I know they were given a bunch of stuff, like, from Egypt. They're just like, yeah, you can have this. We don't want it.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm searching for more things that I was just, like, trying to find the original thing, but I forgot. So I document my anthropology professor's, like, weird shit that she says in class, and the one that I just stumbled upon is, professor has live tweeted her menopause, and 5,000 people joined her. Huzzah.
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 Huzzah. Yeah, alright, there you go. I'm done.
Anyways, we'll go look at the Crystal Palace statues one day, Ethan.
Yeah.
During the time in this... during the time that we're also doing this, Darwin is currently off doing his thing. He's on the Beagle. He's writing the origin of species. He's hanging out in the Galapagos. He's doing his thing.
They're killing and eating lots of turtles. It's
Hell
awesome.
Yeah. At this point, in 1850, 1858, Hadrosaurus, which is this one here. It doesn't actually look like that, but this is an early depiction. Was found and named by Joseph Leidy. This was in the United States. This one's important. He also found some other stuff, but Hadrosaurus is
other
the big
shit
one.
in fucking England.
I'm talking in the States, but
Also,
but this was the first dinosaur to be found in the United States, I believe around Kansas area. This is the important one because this is kind of the one that made people go, oh, there's actually things here. We should do that because keep in mind the West was only kind of settled at this point. I did leave out quite a bit, but this is good enough. This gives you a general sense of kind of where we're at. So
we
these
haven't
two,
even started the Bone Wars yet.
nope.
Okay.
These two handsome gentlemen are our main characters. This is Edward Drinker Cope and Othniel Charles Marsh. With some of the greatest facial hair I've ever seen.
Edward Drinker Cope, yeah.
They look like a very dynamic, like, clearly, like, juxtapose different guys that are meant to, like, contrast each other in a drastic way, you know? Like,
They're juxtaposed.
Edward kind of looks like he'd become a triangle, and Othniel looks like he'd become a circle. Or a pear.
Fair enough.
Othniel is already a very square name. I was going to say Ed looks like a mad scientist.
He does kind of, I guess.
She Edward on
He's
my
no Victor
drinker till I
Frankenstein,
cope.
but...
Othniel on my Charles till I Marsh, whatever. Keep going.
So yeah, these two handsome boys will be our main characters for this. Both petty assholes. So
Who among us?
sus. So Cope was born in that's the wrong date. I put he was born July 28th, 1897. That's incorrect. I think that's when he died.
He was but a wee
That's
when he was
that's
born
wrong.
and died.
Hang on 1 second here. Oh no, wait, hang on, wait. I saved it. Ignore that. It'll be blurred. Hang on. I clicked the wrong link.
You're going to blur your desktop, coward.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
see what
gonna
on
blur.
there.
I'm gonna blur my
I
desktop.
saw an interesting photo. I'm not sure what that was, but I'm kind of afraid to ask.
You should at least show the people your desktop background.
It's a
and
screenshot from Garfield the movie.
The live action one.
Oh,
live
right.
action.
Don't worry.
Yeah. But I
The
think it's a
good
good
one.
movie. Yeah, I've never. Did you guys watch the cartoon one?
Which cartoon one? There's lots of them.
The newest one?
Oh, it's not out
Oh,
yet.
is it not? Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, I put his death date. He was born in 1840.
Close enough.
Cope. Yeah.
Yes.
So Drinker is not a nickname, apparently. That's his grandmother's maiden name. I always grew up thinking it was, because I've heard about these guys my entire life, because they're always in all the dinosaur books. It's a bad time to get hiccups. But I always assumed it was a nickname, but it's not. It's actually his grandmother's maiden name.
You know when surnames in like the olden days reflect like their jobs? You know that she was probably a drinker as a job.
I too am a
Like-
drinker for a job.
I don't think you are.
He just took
Okay.
a sip of his Earl Grey.
GE Force game ready drivers available. Go away. All the pop-ups are coming up right when we start this. This episode's a disaster.
What slide is this? 3? 4?
4.
4 or 5. I don't know.
Nice.
I already lost count.
We've got 7 pages of notes to go through, so...
Fantastic.
So Cope grew up relatively wealthy. Was sent to a fairly prospective boarding school. He was the Friends boarding school at Westtown near Westchester, Pennsylvania. It was named after the show. That's not true. He wasn't a very good student. Apparently there's a Bionicle cameo in Friends the show. I found that out the other day. They got one of the combination models like on a shelf or whatever, but it has the wrong mask on it. It's one of the Toa Kaida. That's unrelated. I needed to get that off my chest. Someone had to know it. I found
How long have you been
out
holding on to that fact?
since like 3 days ago. I saw it on YouTube, but I was
Just
like,
going for
I have to tell somebody about this. I'm sorry, I'm very tired.
Yeah, it's okay. You're fine.
So he wasn't a very good student. He got bad marks and got into fights, but he did have an interest in animals. Eventually, because he was bad at school, his father sent him to work at a farm. He hated this, so he went to work part-time at the Academy of Natural Sciences. He worked on classifying specimens and
Then
eventually
you could just do this shit.
could just do it. Yeah, you didn't need a degree or anything. It's fine. Um,
And
You work-
part-time too, man. Just fucking get like a real apartment, go to fucking work, get like a part-time job doing the coolest shit on the planet.
mhm.
And you didn't even have to be good at it.
No, well, he
Yeah.
was very good
Classifying
at it.
specimens, shit, it's got 4 legs and it's kind of smooth and silky. I guess it's a frog. And then like throw
Behold a
that shit.
man.
Yeah, behold a man.
But so he eventually published his first research in 1859. He eventually bullied his dad enough into paying for his university, which his dad was not a big fan of, but he did it anyways, where he studied comparative anatomy under one Joseph Leidy, the guy who discovered Hadrosaurus. He mostly studied lizards and amphibians. Oh, also, there's a biography on this guy. His life is actually pretty well documented. I don't remember the name of it. I forgot to write it down, but a lot of
You
this
remember dates,
information.
but you didn't remember the name.
I don't remember the dates. I wrote them down.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough, actually.
I forgot to write the name from the biography down. I didn't read it,
Well, That's okay.
So during the Civil War, the American one, he traveled Europe, probably to avoid the draft. That's not a joke.
Just to avoid confusion, this isn't the Bone War either.
No, that's not. Yeah, this is like the actual Civil War, like the North versus the South, the Union versus the other one, Confederates.
Yeah, the Union versus the losers. You should
Yes.
put in fucking Union Dixie here. That'd be great. The trap remix.
I did forget the words for Confederates. That wasn't a joke. I just forgot what they were called.
Honestly,
Well, how can you forget your favorite?
don't call it his favorite.
Well, okay, so in Twilight, Jasper
No,
the vampire.
I'm going to cut you off right there.
Did you see the image I DM'd you on Twitter?
No, hold on.
Open your Twitter right now.
Oh my god. I was
You
gonna.
don't have to read it aloud, but continue your story.
No, you have to read it aloud because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh god. Hold on, my Twitter's
You
loading.
can't read it aloud. It's just a post.
Read it aloud.
It's called
Describe it to me.
I'll send it to you.
By the way, the heckin' desk the URL is now twitter.com again.
Is it?
Oh, amazing.
For me, it's twitter.com. Yeah.
I still have not updated Twitter on my phone, so it still says
It's
Twitter.
in general.
Okay,
God.
how should I say? What should I say first? The thing in the head or the thing in the speech bubble first?
Maybe don't read that.
Friendship is so important to me, and even if we don't talk to each other for a while, I'll never forget the time we spent together. Yeah! Amazing.
Dude, oh man. No, okay, that's a good opportunity to use the COD zombie noise for
Sure.
the slur.
That's the slur marker.
It is just personal request to do that.
Even though I didn't say it, put in the zombie.
What did that have to
noise
do
on
with talking about Twilight again?
I never
Because that
know.
was the last time I called you the F slur.
Thank you.
I don't know why I hang out with you guys sometimes.
What was it about Twilight and Confederates?
I
How
love you
do
guys, you're
those
my best friends.
possibly relate? I need to know.
Jasper is a character in the movies. He is a Confederate soldier.
Oh.
Stephanie Meyer, in like the fourth book, I think, confirmed him as like, yeah, he's a Confederate soldier, and he's like best of the best, you know, and everyone's like, what the fuck? That's like the one thing that everyone in the Twilight fandom is like, we're
Is
gonna
he
just,
at
you know,
least
not
a bad
acknowledge.
guy?
Hmm?
Is he at least
He's the good guy. He's one of the Cullens.
the bad guy?
He is one of the Cullens.
He's Jasper Fox.
He is a huge fan favorite as like one of the goodies. When we watch Twilight, you will know who he is.
I will not be watching Twilight.
I also
This is not an
watch
if
Twilight.
situation. This is a when situation.
I don't
This
know.
is another one of those. This is another one of those. Come to me to Crystal Palace, Ethan. I'm
Michael,
not-
watch
No, you will
Twilight.
do that. Yeah, no, you're
Watch
coming.
Twilight
with
while
me.
you're at England and going to Crystal Palace.
No.
Set up a
Okay.
big
That's rude.
screen outdoors.
I will get you to watch Transformers with me, though, Ray. That's gonna happen.
That's fine with me.
You're not gonna like it, but we're gonna watch it.
That's
I don't know if you're talking to
Uncle
Ethan or me,
Jason?
but
No,
that's
you.
fine with me.
You, Ray.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
You
Which
won't like it.
Transformers? Michael Bay.
All of them.
All right.
I've seen the
I'm
first
down.
Michael Bay one. Where
That one's
that lady
fine.
with the weird tail was like trying to seduce Shia LaBeouf,
that's the
and then
second one.
Megan,
That was the
Yeah.
second one.
and then Megan Fox is like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you," and he was like, "Wait, no, it's not what it looks like," and then he gets
That is the second one.
smacked. Cool.
I don't remember her name. I don't even know if she has a name.
Megan Fox's character?
Oh, Megan
main
Fox
character?
has a name. Her name is Megan Fox, but it's Michaela something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't give a fuck about the human characters. I just want to watch Optimus Prime punch a bad guy.
Well,
Anyways,
Where were we?
we're a reputable source, right? Like, people will come to us to learn, not listen to us get distracted.
it's like, hello,
That's what-
students, we're here to
that's
teach you.
what-
So while he was in Europe, he met a bunch of scientists, and on one of these days, he met Marsh. They were bros for a while. They actually wound up living together for a couple of days, and history declared them roommates. And for a while, they remained friends.
This is a really meet cute situation.
So eventually, Marsh returned to the Americas. Apparently, he kind of lost his mind upon returning and burned a bunch of his journals. I don't really know why. Apparently, he was kind of depressed in Europe, but whatever, that's fine.
Jonathan Swift.
Eventually, he went to work at Haverford College, where he got an honorary master's degree, I believe, in comparative anatomy. But yeah, so again, he has a biography. I didn't read it. This is Marsh, whose life is significantly not as well documented. He was born on October 29, 1831. He was not born into a rich family, but he did have a rich uncle, and his uncle funded his schooling. Eventually, he got a degree, I believe in just biology or something like that, and he became the first professor of vertebrate paleontology at Yale, and he helped actually found the museum there, the Peabody Museum of Natural Science, where he was a curator for a while. And again, for a while, he was friends with Cope. Cope actually named an amphibian fossil after him, Pythonius marshi, and Marsh named an Mosasaurus copiensis. Very nice,
That's
very
adorable.
cute. I hope
That's
nothing bad
how you know
happens.
they were in love, was that they named dinosaurs
That's right.
after each other.
Exactly. I hope nothing bad happens
That's gay as
between
hell.
these two. So,
Thus the war begun.
Bone Wars origins. The year is 1868. Cope is sent the remains of a new plesiosaur, Elasmosaurus platyurus, which he does name. And this is Cope's big old oopsie. So below here is the skeleton of Elasmosaurus. Do you notice anything wrong with it? I know you both have seen at least one skeleton of Elasmosaurus before.
Well, the tail's
Yeah,
quite
because
long. I
there's
don't know.
one.
That really isn't related.
There's one at the university, but you've also both been to the Tyrrell. So
Yeah,
I
no,
was
I
not
was going to
paying
mention the
much
one at the
attention.
university.
Oh wait, no.
Sorry,
the-
Ray, you said something about the tail.
It's a bit long.
it is
Looking
a bit
long, you say.
Yeah, the tail.
Little bit.
The tail is a bit long. That's not the error. Well, that sort of
Oh.
is the error. Ethan, I know you know what the error is. Do you want to say what it is?
Isn't the head on the wrong side? Or,
Yeah, the head's all
or, like-
backwards.
What?
well, the idea is you use the tail vertebrae, or the tail vertebrae is like neck vertebrae and vice versa.
Yes, the cervical versus the tail vertebrae, caudal vertebrae.
Okay, nerd.
But yeah, the
So the
versus
neck
thoracic
is where the tail
and
should
lumbar.
be, and the tail
Yeah,
is
so
where
the head
neck
should be over here. Also, the feet should be the
Okay.
other way.
I-
But yeah, so in Cope's defense, Elasmosaurus is fucking weird. And we hadn't seen anything like it before. So, I mean, Mary Anning's stuff had been found, but Plesiosaurus, which I believe is the one she described, is not this crazy. So yeah, like he does get a defense. These are some of his original description drawings as well. But
pretty good.
Marsh was the one who pointed it out. Marsh said he was being nice, but like, yeah, probably not. The actual quote is, "When I informed Professor Cope of it, his wounded vanity received a shock from which it has never recovered, and he has since been my bitter enemy." So
Demolished.
Lovers to enemies.
in response to this, Cope actually tried to buy every known copy of American Philosophical Society, which is where his initial findings were published. It didn't work, but he tried to buy every single one of them.
I respect
He
the
was
ambition.
embarrassed.
He was embarrassed.
So the expansion of the Transcontinental Railway, in general, you'll love that, Ethan, And the general westward expansion and general exploration was starting to find a whole bunch more stuff, specifically the United Pacific Company. They'll come back in a minute.
The Union Pacific?
Is it Union Pacific or United? I wrote United Pacific, but I think you're right. I think it's Union Pacific.
The Union Pacific is the company that was contracted to build the Transcontinental Railroad starting in Omaha, Nebraska, west to meet with, I think it was the other one coming east from the.
Yeah, that's a typo.
San
Because
Francisco.
I have Union Pacific written down later on, but
Union Cross is the mobile game in the Kingdom Hearts universe.
That's
Technically
nice,
the prequel.
dear.
Hell yeah.
So the Union Pacific, whenever you need to build a railway, you got to make it pretty level. You can't kind of just pave the road over the rolling hills of Nebraska. You gotta make it as level as possible. So you cut and you fill. You have to take some dirt off the tops of hills, put that dirt into the valley next door. Therefore, you get a nice even slope heading up, which requires a lot of digging, which ends up finding the stuff that's under the ground, i.e. bones. There's still a whole process for if archaeological or paleontological finds are found on any kind of construction. But that's today. Back then, you could just fuck around. You could, take these bones home. It's like any worker could, find a bone. The guy oh, sick, cool. We'll send this home to a wife and kids. We'll put it above our mantle or something.
just chuck it in the garbage. It's fine. There's so many of these things.
Honestly, yeah, they'd probably take these bones and put it back into the fill.
A lot of coal mines did that.
Yeah, I believe that.
But anyways.
And nothing of value was lost.
Yeah, not at all. Oh, we're coming back to that. So they realized that the West had a ton of stuff just waiting out there to be discovered. So they decided to start heading west. Also, this is what Elasmosaurus actually looked like, or at least a depiction of it. So long neck, weird little body, short tail, tiny little head, stupidest looking animal on the planet.
Big ass!
Yep. Also, there's a
I
graphic.
eat rocks and shit.
This is from there's a graphic novel out there depicting some of the events of it. I've got the title written down later. We'll come back to it. I haven't read it, but I just saw I saw this on Google. So
Right, that image I posted earlier, scratch that shit. This is our thumbnail.
Okay, who's who?
I want to be the dinosaur.
All right, can do.
That's my only request.
I had a thumbnail idea for this, but that's better.
You can, give me both. We can make a decision if you want.
I'll drop a mock-up later.
Democratic. Okay.
All right.
We are democracy
so
after all.
they started heading out into the west. No, you're not. I can cut any of this out.
No, fair enough. Well, I'm the one doing the thumbnail, so fucking.
That's true. Dinosaurs were known a little bit out in the west. As mentioned, Hadrosaurus was the first, but we hadn't really had any major expeditions. Marsh was the first to head out in 1870. There in Kansas, he reportedly saw 7 mosasaur skeletons and a pterosaur finger. It was one of these bones. I'm not sure exactly which one he found.
That's a big finger.
This is some of the original Hadrosaurus material, by the way. That's what this is. There's a drawing of Hadrosaurus.
Aw, look at him go. What a cutie.
It doesn't actually look like.
Well, I'm gonna take a screenshot of it anyways.
It doesn't actually look like that, but he's a sweet boy.
And my new
That's an old depiction. That's probably from the 80s or 70s. So he also found a bunch of bird fossils, which is important to his later research. He also had a fairly large army escort and almost got killed by indigenous peoples at one point because he's a dick.
Yeah. It was that. Yeah, that's.
Both of these people were not nice men, by the way.
Yeah, they were not nice men, and they were most likely also not welcome.
Yeah, we're not really worried about their personal lives because I don't really care about that. We're talking about the funny science stuff. But apparently they were both kind of pricks. But
as we will soon learn, I'm sure.
Yeah. So also the army people just kind of liked Marsh, so he would just tag along with them. Be like, hey, you guys going west? Can I just ride with you guys? It was like, okay. So
I guess.
Cope would later go out there. He would find the original quarry where Hadrosaurus was discovered, and he found a bunch of stuff still out there. This was in 1872. This was the same one that Joseph Leidy had found, and he was both of their mentors. Cope had hired some people to start excavating, and Marsh then paid those same excavators to start sending anything cool they found to him instead of Cope. Yeah.
Damn,
So
they
in
really do love each
retaliation,
other.
Cope decided to
God.
start collecting where Marsh was collecting, which he was not happy
Oh.
about.
Get back at him, King.
So eventually, they all took their stuff back. They went back to their respective universities. I think Cope.
I think it's a universes.
I don't know if I wrote this down. I
Into the
should have.
Boneverse.
One of them got a job with the newly formed United States Geological Survey, and that's where most of his funding would come from here on out.
There you go.
But also a lot of his family stuff. That'll come back later. I think it was... Wait, hang on. Which one was it? Marsh. Marsh was the one who worked for... Probably. I don't know. Doesn't matter. In 1877, they started to hear stuff that was going on in Colorado. This would later become known, outside the town of Morrison, as the Morrison Formation. Not exclusively, but it's a big one. Well, the Morrison Formation is a presentation for a different day. A lot of stuff was found there. It's still found there today. So Marsh received a letter from one Arthur Lake, who found a bunch of stuff. These are the depictions of some of the stuff he found. Really big bones. He described them as giant saurian bones. Marsh took forever to respond, so he's also sent a message to Cope. Marsh paid him $100 for the stuff, and Lake sent Cope a letter saying that, yeah, this stuff's going to go to Marsh, and Cope was not happy about that. But they both knew things were out there. Yeah, Cope and Seethe, yeah. I was wondering when you'd make that joke. Cope was later sent a nice cabbage. He was sent a letter from one O.W. Lucas, who had also found stuff. The biggest dinosaur known so far.
I loved his mines.
Marsh tried to send some people to steal those finds, but they weren't able to get at it. And when those people returned, the quarry collapsed and he almost killed all of them. Nobody died, but they almost got cursed for their
What a
hubris.
party.
You've misspelled Union Pacific again.
I did too. I think it's fine. It's one of those two.
Yeah, railroads don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That's not the topic.
Shut up.
Where was I? All right, so two guys who worked for Union Pacific sent letters to Marsh. They claimed they'd found stuff and that others were looking for them. These guys wrote their names down as Harlow and Edwards as pen names. Their real names were William Harlow Reed and William Edwards Carlin. They really worked hard on disguising
their
names. Yeah, they
just their middle
tried so hard
Wow.
to disguise it.
Real good.
So
Did a
Marsh
good job.
sent as much stuff out as he possibly could. Eventually, Cope found out and also sent men, and they tried to steal stuff back. So this
He's not coping
resulted
very
in
well.
the next 15 years of personally funded pettiness. They would just send dozens of men out with covered wagons. They'd excavate tons and tons of material, and then they'd put it on trains, which you could now do because they were built.
So there's a train there now.
There's a train, yes, because they were building the train, so now you could ship stuff back a lot easier.
Big theory. This whole Bone Wars thing was a massive grift by the Union Pacific to actually have something to ship.
That's true, yeah.
What were they shipping before that?
Well, they were building a railroad out into a place where nobody lived, so nothing. People into Native American territory.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why would they put a train track railway
So
nowhere?
So you could put a town there.
When I do eventually make a 48-long-hour episode on the construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway, we will talk about how if you're building a railway out into the middle of nowhere, how are you going to make money? Well, you take money from people to ship them out there on a one-way ticket to colonize the place because the government gave them land for basically nothing. And then they'll ship their goods back the other way on your trains to where everyone else lives in the east. And that's probably exactly the same thing that happened here, except, well, the government still kind of gave them land away for free. That's right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can give it away for free. Looks like no one's lived here before. I say, like, kicking an entire Native American camp under like sweeping it under a rug.
They're not doing anything with all that oil.
I guess if
Give
there's
it to
no
me.
price tag, that means that it's free.
That's true.
I'm sorry, that's totally not okay.
It's fine. We're all making the same joke, and the joke is that it was bad. So
It is very bad.
if somebody gets mad, then they clearly didn't listen. So
In the comments, well, you made a joke about the land.
yeah, that was
like,
the
yeah,
joke. Was that it was a
That
bad
was the
thing?
joke. It was horrible. Stupid idea.
Yeah.
By the way, people who say that, because of working retail, I'm sure, Connor, you've understood this as well. When people come up to you and they're like, oh my god, there's no price tag, that means it's free. And I'm just like, well, you're free to leave.
So many times.
Stop! Yeah. Love those middle-aged
Right up there
white
with,
ladies.
are you hardly working or working hard? It's like, shut the fuck up.
I get the, did you pay for those holes in your pants? I'm like, yeah.
I don't ever get that, but
I also get, did you pay to get, it's like, why do you have that metal in your face? I'm just like, because I like the pain. I like the pain. And they'll leave you alone.
so eventually,
You gotta weird them.
Yeah.
I haven't worked customer service.
oh, yeah, I guess you've never worked customer service
No.
ever, have you? You're not missing
No.
much.
I've heard.
I mean, it's a humbling experience, I guess.
I mean, he's the only one out of the two of us with like a stable job for the rest of his life. So.
That's true. But the jobs we want, we unfortunately have to go to school for a long time. So
Yeah, nerd. It's
purely interest.
What a dweeb, Ethan. Got like a good job, good pension, good benefits.
Went to school, and now the school thinks he's dead.
Should have spent thousands of dollars on school to get a worse paying job, idiot.
Yeah, now I just I have this job and I hate the hours and my life. It's great.
See, that's a you problem.
Issue. Yeah,
See, I
exactly.
don't get paid and I hate my life anyways. So like. Anyways, the Bone Wars.
Dinosaurs.
So after these 15 years of going back and forth, we'll have to get into the hijinks in a minute here. They eventually third parties showed up and they just started taking over the place and pushing both Cope and Marsh out as they ran out of money. These were included people from Harvard as well as private collectors and private resellers, which we don't love. I mean, Harvard's fine, but...
So that third party basically told Marsh and Cope to get a room.
Well, pretty much. I mean, Cope and Marsh were also running out of money. They couldn't... This was not sustainable.
They couldn't afford the PDA
bought
anymore.
yeah, I've bought all these dinosaur bones and I'm trying to sell them, but everyone's like, why would I care about a bunch of bones?
Well, Cope and Marsh weren't selling the fossils. They were putting them in We're going to get to where they were storing them in a minute.
They were hoarding it?
But,
Okay.
yeah, kind of.
Oh, God. Great.
We're going to get to that shortly. But, But yeah, this would lead not quite to the end of the Bone Wars, but this is kind of where it started to die down. Because they ran out of money and they couldn't excavate anymore. Let's get into the hijinks time. So... As I mentioned,
boys are in Colorado, can find some cool rocks,
Hell
Doing
yeah.
some
shoot
goose
each other
and
over
yes.
it.
So as I mentioned earlier, Marsh supposedly bribed a whole bunch of Cope's workers to send anything cool that they found to him. In order to prevent anything they couldn't take with them, they would destroy. So they wouldn't, so that if the other group were to find their quarry, they couldn't take it with them. Presumably, they didn't destroy the cool stuff, like the really important stuff. That being said, we don't really know.
I was
They
going
were-
to say,
Because
how
they
do you know?
destroyed it.
I was like, what did they destroy? We don't know.
They
Could be even
also
cooler stuff.
supposedly they both tried to blow up each other's camps. Dynamite
Ugh.
was reportedly used, but this is not. I could not find a verified source of it. Just a couple references of like this maybe happened. So
Kind of like word of mouth. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Had-
So I don't know if
Did
that
I-
actually happened.
I kind of love that for them.
So a couple work, as I mentioned earlier, those two guys from Union Pacific contacted Marsh. They hinted they would send anything cool they found to Cope unless Marsh paid them a lot of money, and he paid $100. Marsh did accept this and was sent the very first specimens of Diplodocus, Allosaurus, and Stegosaurus. We're going to get to what they found later. Or we are coming back to that. At some point, Cope sent people to steal things from Marsh's quarries. Marsh probably also did the same thing. Tons of spying, tons of bribery, all over the place. lots of information exchange. These were not particularly loyal workers. These are just like your average bloke working out in the desert.
Loyal.
Like, they're not that
great.
loyal.
Cash,
Oh, they'll
baby.
love
You
that.
think
They care who
This-
pays them more.
it's the
These aren't
same
scientists.
concept of the guy who will go to work in like the oil patch.
Yeah, exactly. These are not.
I am here for money, man.
Yeah, these aren't scientists. These are just some guys. Like,
You telling me you'll give me an extra like fucking $10 to come and haul some bones off that mountain?
yeah, I just have to
That's
dig a
sick.
hole.
Dylan.
I get to sometimes use dynamite. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Well, they already have these skills, I'd imagine. If any
Probably.
blasting was occurring, it might have been, well, actually, depending on how.
I don't
Well,
know
no,
how
there's-
much black
We'll
they
be like, to
did.
each other's camps first.
They did do that. Like they did use.
Oh, I'm
dynamite.
talking about blasting on the railway. Like,
No.
they could have just stolen that shit from their
don't-
own company's
I don't
supply.
think they were yoinking stuff from the trains because they needed the train people to like them.
Nah, you could just do shit back then. If you take some, it's like, where'd you use it?
I mean,
oh,
if the
you
train
used it
people
over
don't like
there.
them,
We
they
didn't
can
have.
just leave.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough explosives to clear the last cut. I don't know where the other ones. Well, actually, we used them all, but it just wasn't enough. You should get more.
A lot of these
Easy.
people
And
were
then be like,
probably
yeah,
Redouble?
all right, another train.
train
Just double
workers.
it. Whatever you gave us last time.
Double it and give it to the next person.
That's right.
At some point, in an effort to try and publish more things than Marsh, Cope decided to just buy the publication journal, The American Naturalist. This was a huge journal at the time. So he just bought the whole thing and was like,
So
well,
Elon musked it?
we can kind of. It's like we can kind of skip the peer review process at this point. So,
You don't need drop the peer review thing.
yeah. Well, he also
Don't
just
need
got.
it.
They were still peer reviewed. He just
Unnecessary.
got priority over them. It's like, I own this journal. This will go out before yours. And over time, especially as the funding ran out, it just kind of devolved into them insulting each other in publications. This was also a very public feud.
Bad
Lots of
weather.
other publications made fun of them. I just had it. There was a headline at some point called "Scientists Wage Bitter Warfare," which set off a firestorm, according to this article that I'm not sourcing. A lot of these sources were annoying as hell to find, so I'm not sourcing them because they made me angry. It's,
My own personal fight with
Like your source?
these sources.
but don't sue me, please. It's,
I'm getting them on the phone right now.
a lot of this is like an aggregate of a lot of other sources. Like almost all of this information I read from multiple different sources. So none of this is really like
you
specific
said,
to anything.
Your source is that you made it the fuck up.
That's true. Yeah, I made all this up. Actually, this didn't even happen. This is a Photoshop. That's not Marsh. There. That's Teddy Roosevelt. It
looks like Teddy.
It kind of does actually.
A little
It's
bit.
not. That's Marsh, but
I know. I was like, Marsh looks kind of familiar. Teddy Roosevelt?
Teddy wasn't Teddying yet.
Not
still had
quite,
A couple
no.
years for Teddy.
Is it? I don't
yeah,
know when Teddy
he's-
Roosevelt was.
like 10 years from now.
Ah.
It a little bit more than that. Apparently there was like some publication called Paleozoic Poetry, which was just like a rhyme directed at them. I could not find
No,
this.
Teddy was in
Dude.
the army.
Yeah, he was alive. He was
Major
around.
battles.
He was doing
Maybe
stuff,
he
but
I
he's
think he
not
was
president
invading
yet.
Cuba at this point.
I don't think so. He wasn't president yet, was he?
Well, no, he invaded Cuba when he was still in the army before he was president.
Oh, I thought he directed that. Did he?
I don't.
I don't remember. I'm not American. I don't know their
American
history.
history is important.
I don't.
It is
I don't know
important,
who was
but I
the
don't
prime
remember
minister before
specifically.
the one before this one. Canadian history is also fuzzy.
Harper.
American history is non-existent in my brain.
Before Harper was Chrétien. Before Chrétien was someone else who's annoying.
Was it the other Trudeau, or was there one in between?
There was a lot in between the other Trudeau and
Who was the other? Oh no, he was like the 70s. Never mind, I'm stupid. Never mind.
I mean, I didn't know that. You're fine. I think you're fine. I never heard of Christian.
Chrétien, the
Chrétien?
Shawinigan Shake guy.
Never seen that person.
I couldn't have named him either. Don't.
You can just physically assault journalists if they annoy you. Fun fact. In Quebec, you can just do this.
Paste.
In Quebec, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, wild land out there.
It's dangerous roads.
I saw from Quebec the other day a Bricklink listing.
I'm not going to Quebec. I'm
Road
not
trip.
going to Quebec.
No. He'd ship it to me, but shipping wouldn't be that bad. I was watching a video about Hero Factory. This is relevant. And I got reminded of a set I've wanted for a while called Rotor, and I saw a good price. He's so cool. He's got a helicopter on his back. But I saw a listing for him for a pretty good price, and it would be from Quebec, so the shipping wouldn't be, like, I wouldn't have to pay international shipping. I need a bunch of other stuff I want. That being said, I don't have any money, so I can't buy it, but I want it so badly. I spent...
The biggest...
I annoyed... I'll have to censor her name, but... the other day for like an hour. Like, we met up for lunch, and I'm just like, I need to show you this. Just let me rant for a while. She was annoyed at me.
Please, I need to just get this off my chest. And they're like, you know what?
He's got a helicopter for a back. It's so cool.
I've never heard you so excited about something like that. Like, you do sound like a child. Just it has a helicopter on its back.
It's so cool. I need it.
I believe you.
There's a bunch of other stuff on there too. There was mostly Hero Factory stuff, but there was some Bionicle stuff too that I don't have. So, my next episode will be the Bionicle one. Prepare yourselves. Okay. Part 1. It's coming. 2.
Of how many?
I mean, I could stretch it out to like 8. We could do.
I was gonna say I was expecting
or more than that.
More than 2.
I could do a video or a podcast a year, 2 episodes. I won't, but I could.
For every year that the Bionicles were released, times 2.
Which was just about, that would be 16 years?
So 32
including
years.
Hero Factory.
Nice. I don't know what Hero Factory is, I don't think.
Well, they'll have to wait for the next presentation. That'll be part 2. Anyways, that's not relevant. You said Quebec, and I just had to get that off my chest. I'm
glad you got it off your chest.
I might just break down and buy
myself
it
and say hi to my dad and heard none of it. I can't wait to hear it when the episode releases.
Are you gonna do your Bionicle Part 1 and 2 back to back? So like your next episode, you're gonna do Part 2?
Undecided.
Are you gonna? That's fair. Because I'm not sure if I ever have a 2-part. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. What else?
Do it for your birthday.
Whose birthday? What?
Connor's birthday. Do it for your birthday. Do Bionicle episode for your birthday.
Yeah, do your Bionicle episode for your birthday. I don't know if you're going to record on your birthday.
We probably won't.
You're just going to release. It's hard to tell.
We will see. Anyways, let's get back to the Bone Wars. I'll stop talking about Bionicles. I mean, I could talk about them all day, but... anyway, a lot of this time the weather was pretty shitty, so it was just bad working conditions for a lot of it. At some point, Marsh's men locked some of Cope's men out of a train station, so they had to just crate everything outside and just stay out there. And apparently at some point, workers from both sides just stopped working to just throw rocks at each other.
Really?
Which you love to see.
I love that.
That man there. Throw rocks at him.
But yeah, like it was just... Like, this is mostly in the second one in the Como Bluff finds. We were around the Morrison Formation. But it was just shit like this. Just the pettiest, stupidest things they could do. Just spying, being petty for just no real reason other than just two bitter assholes.
From this. Instead of killing people, just throw rocks at each other.
So that leads us towards the end. It is the late 1800s. We'll get back to this guy. I don't know who that is, but we'll get back to him.
Okay.
You don't know who that is.
I mean, I'll explain it in a minute. I saw it this morning, and I'm just going to put this in. It's funny.
I'm going to go right in there.
So at some point, the Geological Survey were publicly accused of corruption and misuse of funds. So this got their funding slashed, which made Marsh lose most of his funding. So he lost all his funding, and Cope's personal wealth just kind of ran out. So, or like his uncle's wealth. And so they were both out of money, so they couldn't really do it. But technically, by the late 1800s, Marsh was sort of winning. He had more dinosaurs. But at this point, both of their reputations were destroyed. Nobody took these guys seriously anymore. In 1897, Cope got very sick. Apparently, he had sold a lot of his he had sold his home and was sleeping among his fossil collection. Some of which he had sold off so he wouldn't die. His collection, both of their
Little
collections,
Dicky,
but his
no.
collection was huge, and he couldn't find a bidder for all of it. He would die at age 56 in 1879, or 1897, sorry, completely broke. Marsh would
What
die
a
2 years
loser.
later in 1899
Owned
at age 67. He was also completely broke.
loser.
Most people consider him the victor because he described more dinosaurs. We will get to that in a minute. Apparently, after Cope died, he had lost some of his luster and was kind of like, just like chill and kind of
Well, yeah,
depressed. And I would
he
like to
lost his
note...
soulmate.
Exactly, he lost his mortal enemy. And I would like to point out that is the plot of Megamind. But
Oh man.
so he was depressed for like 2 years and then he died. So
Dude, and Megamind
the
is an
plot-
adaptation of the Bone Wars.
Megamind TV show. I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
There's a TV show coming out?
Oh, you didn't see the trailer, did you?
No.
Well, there's a movie
Oh,
and a
you
trailer.
didn't see the trailer.
What?
Oh, go.
Is it going to be the same, like, Will Ferrell as...
No.
No?
Go,
I
go,
just break
go
the
look it
trailer
up.
back.
Go
It's
look
not
it up
good,
right
dear.
now.
I don't think I will.
Yep. Let's
no.
get your live reaction in.
Yeah, look it up
All
right now.
So what? Just look up Megamind TV show.
Megamind 2 trailer.
2 trailer. Okay.
It's the same thing as the show.
just
Like, they're
just
both
whatever
in-
the first one is.
Just probably the first result.
Okay.
Live reaction.
Yeah.
You don't get this kind of content
Alright.
just anywhere, folks.
Yeah, because we all know that. This
If
will
you
just
wanted
be...
to hear about the dinosaurs, too bad. We're talking about Megamind.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Wait for it.
This animation's not good.
There it is.
Is he getting... Is he having a Gru moment? He's getting help from a child?
Yeah, kind of.
And... Oh, she's hot. Dude, hell yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about, but...
It's one of the villains.
Oh.
Oh god, the animation's so bad. Charades? Oh,
This is riveting content for anyone. This is all staying in, silence included.
that's all that beard. No.
You'll be able to hear some of the audio from Ray's
Oh,
end,
hit
'cause
the
I can
child!
hear it,
Hit the child! Cowards! Such cowardice. Guess it was a flash grenade.
What are you clicking on, Ethan? Are you playing Prison Architect again?
Oh no, I'm just finding out that Como Bluffs is in Wyoming because the railroad didn't initially go through Colorado.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't all in Colorado. The Morrison Formation is huge. Yeah. No, there's
I guess
quite
that
a
makes
there's a
sense.
bunch of stuff. Did I not say that? I did write it down. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't.
just need it understood because I'm like,
No, it
the
wasn't
Union
exclusive.
Pacific did not initially build through Colorado.
It's named
but I could
after the
completely
site
believe them
in
going into
Morrison,
It's
Colorado,
not that
but-
far. Morrison.
Yeah, the Morrison Formation is huge, and again, that's going to be a presentation a different day. It's a Jurassic sediment, by the way. A lot of really famous dinosaurs come from there: Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, Apatosaurus, I think Brachiosaurus. Like, it's a pretty famous site, and we'll get back to some of those
Other
dinosaurs in a
ones.
minute. But
I didn't realize J.K. Simmons was in Megamind. That was
he's
horrible.
the warden.
That is the that's the worst. That's the worst fucking animation I've ever
It's
seen.
bad. It looks like a
It's-
direct-to-DVD sequel from
Oh,
2004,
it does.
I
Oh
would
my
be willing
God.
to go to
Or an X-
Colorado with you,
or an
I
Xbox
mean-
360
which means
video
it's
game
not
time.
going to happen.
I would love to go to Colorado with you. We do that. You want to come too, Ray?
Uh-huh. To
You want to
Colorado?
come to Colorado with us? Go look at dinosaurs?
Where is Colorado exactly?
The States.
About 20
Where in the
hours to
states?
south.
I could last 20 hours. Yeah.
We should
in
hit
the middle.
Montana first, though.
2. I was gonna say
We
I prefer
have
to go
to
to
hit
Montana.
Montana.
First.
It's in the way.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, but I'm
It's
talking
in
like
the
do
way.
stuff in there, not just drive through it.
I think my favorite part of that Megamind trailer was when Megamind and Roxanne have a sex scene for 2 hours.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Love that
Right.
bit.
Finally, it's canon.
Really gets my rocks off.
Really megas my mind. Yeah. Metro's my man.
Stop. I think I spit part of my soup back into the bowl after you said it. It hurts so bad. Great.
What's the incel superhero's name?
Titan.
Turbo.
Really,
Man?
Titans.
It's spelled Titan as in like tighten a belt, because they're idiots.
Really,
Really?
Roxanne's
Like
my
in the movie,
cheese.
they're idiots, not the writers. It's an incredible joke
Yeah.
in the movie.
Really Titans.
I do like
Good
the
movie.
first
They're
movie. It
not
was
two
quite.
words. That's how you know he's
First
a
one's
bad
great.
guy. There's not two words in his name.
It's true, yeah.
Or syllables.
No, it's a great
Or
movie.
they're
The
just
original's awesome.
Really tight's my Ann.
Really Jonah's my hill.
There you go.
Really, Tina's my fae.
Will's my Farrell. Brad's my Pitt.
JK's my Simmons.
David's my
Wait,
Cross.
do the guy that does Minion. Who plays Minion?
David Cross.
Thank you.
Wait. No, not David Cross. Wait, no, that's...
I think it is David Cross.
No, hang on.
He's in Alvin the Chipmunks,
He's in
right?
Alvin the Chipmunk.
Yeah, him.
Yes, that is his name. That's his most noticeable
Put it-
role, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
We put a cut in the recording as we were trying to
to
move
forget.
on, and yet here we are.
It's fine. Megamind's a good movie.
It is a
is.
good movie.
Anybody that was
Great
like
movie,
listening
even.
for the dinosaur information is gone. It's just the diehards now. If you're listening to this, comment, I don't know, she brads my pit in the comments or something like that. Alright, so we know if you're
Comment
listening or
harders
not.
forever.
It's
Die harders forever.
diehard. Okay, so when Cope died, he donated his skull to science. So this is it in the top, supposedly. When I googled Cope skull, this man came up. So I'm just like, yeah, it's going in the video. I have no idea who this is.
Don't know
I was
who
gonna-
this guy is.
Yeah, it just...
Did-
You didn't even look at, like, nowhere around the image was placed any text where this guy.
I didn't read it. I
It's
thought it was
clearly a
funny.
last minute decision.
I put it in at
which I
like
think is
6 o'clock
art.
this morning, or not 6 o'clock, like 9
You just
o'clock
see
this
this
morning.
guy holding
Not
up a
6 o'clock.
femur and Cope's skull.
Is he in a wheelchair?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yes.
I have no idea who this man is.
Do you think he might have
But so as
scoliosis?
his final fuck you to Marsh, he wanted to have his brain measured to see if it was bigger than Marsh's. Now keep in mind, brain measurement is a terrible metric for intelligence.
It's
as
not
in,
even a metric.
It doesn't work
for
at all.
anything.
Yeah, it means nothing. It's
Cranial index has been proven to be stupid for years.
again
Let's
and
do the-
again and again. Yes.
Stay tuned for the future phrenology episode.
But at the time, it was thought to work. But because that was this era. But it's fine. So the skull's
Was
somewhere in the
No, it
collections at
wasn't. It's
University of
the racism
Pennsylvania.
zone.
Yeah, this is solidly the racism zone. So I think I saw a reference somewhere
Welcome
that
to the
these-
racism zone.
I'm pretty sure I saw a reference somewhere that these guys were both pretty racist. I didn't put it in because that's not fun to talk about. And it's not really relevant to this story other than the fact that they're both pricks. But
You could
They're racist
like
and pricks.
you could flip a coin, have it, and if it landed on its like. So let's say you took every person in like the late 1800s and you flipped a coin. Heads, they were racist. Tails, they were racist. If it landed on its
exactly.
side, there was a chance they weren't.
that's just
So
like
you could
that
just say
era.
people were racist back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cope's skull is somewhere probably in the collections at the University of Pennsylvania. And Cope reportedly wanted his brain to be the lectotype for Homo sapiens. So that is the name-bearing species that all other skulls are compared to say like, yep, this is definitively human.
I want to be the perfectly. How stupid is that? I want to be the perfectly average human upon which we base all of humanity.
Exactly.
So based.
But
You're
like
setting a
also
low bar
look
for
at his
yourself.
skull. Like his skull, like is missing like a bunch of teeth. It's all kind of deformed.
Did he not have any teeth when he died?
I mean, it
pretty-
is also yeah.
Dental care was also
He was quite
something where
sick.
you,
I don't remember.
They didn't have dental back then.
that was another thing that was weird back then, where you were just treated with cocaine and
What did he-
a slap on the ass.
die of. Or wrote it somewhere.
I'd like to imagine that they just give you some cocaine and smack your ass, and you're like, oh, okay.
I bet I didn't write down what he died from.
I guess my
mean,
teeth will get
yeah.
better.
I know he
No,
was
no, your
sick.
teeth are gonna get better now.
The ass slap is necessary. That is how you get the teeth back.
That's right. You gotta trust your dentist. They know what they're doing. They didn't go to school.
Or we're gonna do a rectal exam. Aren't you my dentist?
Yes. Now bend over. But yes, obviously, this was rejected, and his skull was not used as the lectotype. And at some point, apparently, Bob Bacher, who is an incredibly notable paleontologist who found Deinonychus and kind of changed how we understood dinosaurs, with not just with the finding of Deinonychus. A lot of his theories were pretty important. He's the guy that was like, they're probably warm-blooded and had feathers, sort of, probably. Apparently, at some point, he poured pasta into Cope's brain to measure its size. I couldn't find a reference. I read that somewhere, or I hallucinated it. I couldn't find the reference again. But apparently that happened.
It came to me in a vision.
Alright.
At some point that happened. Maybe I should write my sources down.
You probably should.
You should just write "it came to me in a vision" in every single source note.
Look it up yourself.
Sorry. Okay. Penne, spaghetti. Like, what are we talking
It just
about? What
said
kind of pasta you
pasta.
put in there? It just
I like
said
to think
pasta.
it was macaroni.
Bolognese sauce.
Wait, when did you say pasta?
You put pasta in his fucking skull, dude.
Supposedly.
You put pasta in
Oh,
his dead guy's
I missed that
skull.
part.
Again,
To
or
measure
I
his brain
hallucinated
count.
Wait,
that
okay,
somewhere,
uncooked or
but
cooked?
I like to think
I
so.
assume cooked. I assume you want cooked because you want it to. I don't know why you got to measure the volume of a fucking skull with
This
goddamn
holds
pasta,
exactly
dude.
432
like
spaghettis.
Shucked in
I
there.
feel like there are much better fluids
How many
that could maybe
Yeah,
like
tomato
measure
sauce.
a volume.
How many
like tomato
cans of
sauce.
Oil?
SpaghettiOs are gonna fill up this man's skull?
Imagine they turned the skull
don't
into
know.
a bowl.
Crack open a can of Chef Boyardee
Oh
and
wait,
pour that
wait,
shit in.
guys.
Do you guys think somebody from The Office didn't realize that there was a skull and they start eating the noodles from the skull?
got
They're
it.
like, wait, no, don't.
I got it.
Let's cook noodles.
Italian phrenology. Thank you very much.
All right.
We've come full circle, everyone. Alright, so it turns out this wasn't a complete waste of time. They
What?
did actually do quite a bit of science. And kind of formed the foundation of how we understand paleontology in the
As long
Americas
as your
today.
bar for science is, hey, you railroad worker, can you go dig in that rock pile over there? Here's some dynamite as payment.
That was just how dinosaurs, or how science was done at this point. So I'm going to
Bums.
list a bunch of stuff that these guys
It was
each
very-
did.
It was a lot more dudes rock.
What I'm going to list is not a complete list. They both named many, many species, both modern and extinct, as well as naming many groups and families. I just
And
picked,
maybe they destroyed some more.
probably destroyed some more. Hiccups. It's a bad time for this. So I just picked some names that you guys maybe have heard of, or at least the ones that I heard of. And I also didn't list really any of the modern specimens they named because I didn't feel like it. But they both named a
Great
lot.
work.
Keep that in mind. These guys are incredibly prolific scientists. As much as complete dicks and idiots that they were, they did a lot of good work.
What's
So-
the world
Who's
without
the
dicks and
guy?
idiots?
Who's the guy with the Myosaurus and the scavenging T-Rex?
Oh, that's let's stop. That's a rabbit hole. We don't want to go in that. That's Jack Horner.
Thomas
We don't
Jefferson?
want to go
Oh.
in there.
Like the guy that
Yeah.
sat in the corner?
No.
yeah, like
Eating
Puss in
his-
Boots.
Wait, Jack Horner or John Horner? It's Jack Horner, isn't it?
Jack Horner is the
Wait.
nursery rhyme.
No, I know. Am I an idiot? No, his name's Jack Horner. I'm not an idiot. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
it's the
his name.
same. It's the same name.
I just
It's
said. Oh no, his first name is
Oh.
John, and she just goes by Jack. I'm just yeah. Okay, no wonder I got confused.
How'd you get Jack from John?
I don't know. This is Google the name
How
Jack
do you
Horner,
get Dick from
paleontologist. and
Richard,
it'll come
man.
up.
I don't know.
If you
English
ask him
is weird.
nicely.
You ask nicely. Damn it, Ray. You
Ah,
beat
there
me
you
to
go.
it. Oh,
We've all been in this world too long.
oh my god, he's a Twitter.
What?
Jack Horner has a Twitter.
I should leave hate comments
Please.
at Dusty Dino.
Can you
Oh,
can
dude,
you
I'm-
do it through the Don't Get Me
everyone
Started
listening.
podcast Twitter so that we'll get some clout?
Oh no! After 13 years, the Dino Chick. This is on November 24th, 2023. After
I'm
13
already
years,
following
the
Jack Horner.
You are?
Yes.
The
Dyslexic dinosaur paleontologist.
The Dino Chicken project has reached a threshold. We know how to initiate teeth, alter skull shape, transform wingtip to a 3-fingered hand, and produce a bony tail. Oh no. Next and final step will finally have to be on an island with a generous,
His name
intrepid donor.
Yeah, Grandpa
hate this
follows
man.
Dusty
I-
Dino Jack Horner. Holy shit.
Look,
Well, happy Darwin Day! Yesterday was Darwin Day?
that was a little while ago, yeah.
Why is Magic the Gathering
got Jack Horner on their Twitter.
I don't know.
We made a magic
sure
set
here.
with fantasy dinosaurs where we talked to a real paleontologist. Meet Jack Horner dinos.
Look, this is a rabbit hole we shouldn't go down because I'll just devolve it as slander. But
Everyone listening, leave hate comments on Jack Horner.
don't harass this man.
He seems nice.
Don't
Is
harass
he-
this man. He's going to die soon anyways.
That's true.
Don't harass this man.
Aw.
I don't
it's
like.
it's a future episode, right?
It's not because
fair
that's just slander. In print, it's Leipold.
You
That's
can-
from Spider-Man
you can-
1. But
You
it
can do that. It's legal here. It's you gotta worry about.
I
it.
don't
You
want
can
to.
do that here.
We're not slandering Jack Horner.
Okay, my future
Can we
episode.
slander
can't.
Jack Horner, the guy that sits in the corner, eating his toes and wait, how does it go?
Eating his toes and whey. That's right.
I don't know how it goes.
You've combined Little Miss Muffet, Jack Horner,
Oh!
and a foot fetish, but it's
Connor Zipper 2024. My God.
put that on a T-shirt.
I think I will. Imagine that now. On things that need to be printed on various mediums.
Let's get dinosaurs. Let's get back into it. So, some of the dinosaurs Cope described. He described 56 dinosaurs in his lifetime. These included Amphicoelius, which you probably haven't heard of, Camarasaurus, Coelophysis, and Dystrophaeus. Also, sort
Disco.
of Tyrannosaurus, but he did not call it Tyrannosaurus. He described it under the name Manospondylus, which has since been determined to be undiagnostic, since we're not so we'd ignore that.
Okay.
Normally you would change the name of Tyrannosaurus to Manospondylus if that original specimen was considered diagnostic, but also they're not going to do that. They're not going to change the name of Tyrannosaurus. It's not going to happen. But
That attitude.
but no, that's they won't do it. Normally you go with whatever name was first.
Are you
But
sure? And like
they-
you lower your
they
shirt
won't-
to show off
They
some
won't do
shoulder.
it.
And they're like, what about when you lift up your clothes to show an ankle? You're like, what about now?
Stop.
Okay.
He also described numerous
a
other
lot of
famous
reference.
extinct animals, including Champsosaurus, which is this little guy down here.
Oh my God, a big champ.
Bolosaurus,
Sorry.
Daeodon, that's this guy. Desmatosaucus, Dimetrodon, that's this guy. Diplocalus.
that one.
Yeah, you should know that one. Again, I just picked the famous ones that I recognized. Diplocalus, which we have talked about before. Edaphosaurus, it looks like this, but it's not. Elasmosaurus, which we've already talked about. Eriops, and Lystrosaurus. And he described numerous major taxa groups, including Agnatha, which is jawless fish, Archosauria, which is dinosaurs, crocodiles, and pterosaurs, Basilosauridae, which are a kind of toothed whale, Mysticedae, which are toothed whales as a whole. No, not
What?
toothed whales. Nope, the other one. No,
The other one,
I'm
motherfucker.
the other
This
one.
is the one that I care about.
I said it that I immediately, because I was already thinking about toothed whales. I said it that I was immediately like, nope, that's wrong. That left my mouth immediately. Baleen whales. There's mysticetes.
Yes.
Hadrosauridae
Let's fucking go.
and Nimravidae, which are, they look like cats, but they're not. He was also one of the guys who investigated the Port Kennedy Bone Cave. It had a bunch of cool Ice Age fossils in it. He recognized a lot of Permian amphibians, which had not been known at the time, including Eriops, which is a very cool animal. And I believe Diplocalus, actually.
There's one of those at the university.
There is,
right?
yes. And the Tyrrell. It looks like a funny little crocodile. Eriops megacephalus. We love temnospondyles. There'll be a presentation a different day. In his lifetime, Cope published over 1,400 papers in the field of herpetology, that's lizards,
That's
paleontology, and ichthyology, that's fish.
Herp is such a fun word.
It
man.
is. He also
Like herpes?
described over 1,000
Yeah, that's
species of fossil vertebrates. So, again, a prolific man in the names of science. He may have been an asshole, but this is
Boy, did
important
he
stuff.
science.
Like, we're still using a lot of these names and species and groups. Like, this is pretty important. Marsh, on the other hand, is genuinely considered to have won the Bone Wars because he described more dinosaurs. He described...
and he died later.
He died 2 years later. he described 80 species of dinosaurs. This
And he
included...
got past a port in his skull.
Exactly. No, that was the other one. That was Cope.
Oh.
Marsh never accepted that challenge, by the way. So he described numerous dinosaurs. These include Allosaurus. That's this guy. That's the Walking with Dinosaurs render. Apatosaurus / Brontosaurus. We will come back to that. Barosaurus. Ray, there's a big one at the ROM. I haven't been there, but you have.
I have.
Camptosaurus. Ceratosaurus.
I'll go to Ontario.
I want to go to that museum. I don't want to go to
It's so good.
Ontario.
Toronto?
Yeah,
Oh.
Toronto.
Well, I mean, yeah. Toronto's pretty rough.
Ceratosaurus, Diplodocus.
Step off the planes in like full hazmat suits.
Dryosaurus.
There was this.
Oh,
I think the highlight of my last Ontario trip was the waiter at the hotel that I stayed at. Like, as I was drenched in rainwater and looked like a 12-year-old child, like a sad child. He gave me like the eye up and eye down, but not in the rude way, and that's kind of hot way. And I was like, damn, if I wasn't with four friends and also in a relationship, that man's life would be over.
okay.
That's
That was
That
yeah.
was a sentence.
all right. You can continue now. I'm so sorry.
We'll go find that guy for you, Ray.
I wish. I don't remember his name, which is so sad, but he was great. He accidentally gave me like, I don't know what it was. I asked for eggs Benedict, but the mushroom one, and then he gave me the meat one by accident, and I didn't say anything, and one of my friends like, oh, and I was like, oh, it's fine, and he's like, what? And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm a vegetarian, so like I asked for the mushroom one, but like honestly, it's okay, I'll take off the meat. And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay, and whatever. And I think like after I was like, I will eat this meat for the sake of not inconveniencing you. He was like, damn, that person, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, dinosaurs. So Marsh, Ceratosaurus, Diplodocus, Dryosaurus, Dryptosaurus, Edmontosaurus, Hesperornis, that's a bird, Nodosaurus, that's this one, Ornithomimus, that's this one, Plateosaurus, Stegosaurus, Torosaurus, Triceratops. So, some of the most famous dinosaurs of all time. He also
only a few.
yeah. He also described numerous other extinct animals. These include, but is not limited to, Didelphodon, Myohippus, Nyctosaurus, Pteranodon, Tylosaurus, and others. He also named many other groups: Allosauridae, Ceratopsidae, Mosasauria, Nodosauridae, Ornithopoda, Stegosauridae, and Theropoda. Again, really important groups, although Nodosauridae might have been thrown out, but all the other ones are still around. They maybe broke Nodosauridae up into a couple smaller groups. I don't know, your dinosaurs are wrong, talked about it. He also found the first North American pterosaurs. That was that finger bone we mentioned, and that include, as aforementioned, Nyctosaurus and Pteranodon. He proposed many theories on the evolution of and origins of birds, reptiles, and mammals, and his early work on birds and early horses were very important in getting the general public to support Darwin's theories.
Darwin.
Yeah, like he did a lot of that's a pretty big deal. In his life, he published about 400 papers and described about 500 species. So less stuff than Cope did, but more dinosaurs. So
Do you guys ever think about how much papers or stuff we've written?
a lot.
Like as humanity.
Yeah. No, like us individually.
Me? Oh,
No, we're
I
not.
thought you meant as a species. You're like 3.
No, well,
Me? I don't write
obviously as a species, quite a bit, but
I don't write that.
I mean,
many
like, how many-
species or many papers? I mean, I have like 3 that I'm currently working on for school right now, but I have not. I don't. Most of my school is not really about writing stuff. At least not yet.
yeah. Well,
I mean, it's coming.
Take a
And
cake.
again, I am working on stuff. I have to write
Yeah.
papers sometimes. But most of my stuff so far, I try to avoid the classes where I have to write a bunch of papers because I don't wanna.
it's not great. I mean, I think although I think research papers are easier to write, like not in terms of like literature-based stuff. fieldwork research papers are a lot more fun to write because you could just kind of, you could be a little more lenient. And if you fib something, nobody will know. Unless you're in the field, then you should definitely
Just lie. You've heard it here
Just
first,
lie.
folks. Ray endorses academic disintegrity.
I sure do. I sure do.
Just make things up. Fudge your
For the
data.
record, I didn't do that. Although in one of my papers, I interviewed one person, and they read the paper and they're like, "Oh, actually, this thing was over here." I was like, "Oh shit, sorry, dude," but I mean, I didn't publish it anywhere. It was an assignment paper, so my professor probably is none the wiser. But yeah, dinosaurs.
Hell yeah. So yeah, both of these guys, really important. But none of this comes without its consequences. So they made a lot of problems over the time. That tends to happen when you're trying to describe as much stuff as possible, or as fast as physically possible, and you blow a bunch of stuff up.
Rapid fire naming.
Yeah. So, this resulted in a lot of messed up and double named species. The most famous example of this is the Brontosaurus-Apatosaurus debate. Apatosaurus got named first, and then when they found Brontosaurus later, it got double named. I would like to note, these were both named by Marsh. So, he just did it to himself.
He alone fucked this shit up.
Also, he did
He sure did.
screw up one of them. He accidentally put a Camarasaurus skull on top of Apatosaurus at one point.
Oh, honey.
But yeah, also Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus are maybe two separate species again. I don't know what they've been doing. They've gone back and forth for the last 100 years, so I don't really know where they're at right now with that. But that is where that debate comes from. A lot of Marsh's names were generally first and were kept. Some of Cope's names got thrown out. I don't have any examples, but that tended to be the case. Robert Bacher, that I mentioned earlier, described this as taxonomic carpet bombing, and this sometimes still causes issues with taxonomy. So, because sometimes you'll find a reference that somebody has worked with, and then you gotta work backwards and try to fix it. So, yeah, great, a lot of fun. This also completely ruined American paleontology's reputation for a very long time. This caused many people, especially in Europe, to just kind of ignore them and not share any information with them, because you guys are lunatics, and I don't want to talk to you. So, they just
That's
didn't.
pretty bad.
So, yeah, so who knows what stuff could have been discovered at the time just from some general mixing and conversations, but they're like, yeah, we're not going to talk to you. So, we're just going to do our own thing.
Imagine fucking up so bad. Europe was like, no, man.
Yeah, like I said, this was an extremely public argument. Also, this is in the museum Marsh founded. This is the Peabody Institute, I think. I'm pretty sure. I want to go there. This also caused Joseph Leidy, who we mentioned earlier. He just kind of left paleontology. He was just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. Bye. You guys are both lunatics, and I was friends with both of you, but I'm not doing this. Goodbye. So,
Man.
that sucks.
That's what, was he the middleman during most of the arguments as well?
No, he
we're like, tell Cope that I said he smells bad.
Not as far as I could tell, but I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Tell Marsh.
Like I said, there were
He's
also
ugly.
just a lot of mistakes and misconceptions that were thrown out. And we're still dealing with these sometimes. And like I said earlier, a lot of destroyed fossils. While the number is probably exaggerated, there was an investigation to some of their old quarries to try and figure out how much damage was done. Probably wasn't as bad as previously assumed, but also it was definitely a bunch of stuff. We don't know for sure what they broke, but they definitely broke a lot of stuff. And that's unfortunate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that brings us
Don't
to what I believe is
break
our final
shit,
slide. This is that same
folks.
museum, actually. This is the same specimen.
Where is this?
This is at Yale?
Peabody?
Yeah, the Peabody or whatever.
Where's Yale?
I don't know. Philadelphia, I think.
Florida.
Also, these are the Charles S. Knight paintings. They're amazing, and I want to go look at them.
I'll go
This
to
museum-
Pennsylvania.
Oh.
This museum is currently under renovations. If they get rid of those murals, I'm gonna lose my mind. I want to.
The day before you arrive.
I love
probably
those
just got rid of
murals.
them.
They're so cool.
If you need to get Connor a present, it should be I don't know.
Just tear it off.
Philadelphia.
Paint his room like that. Make that his room. paint.
Resurrect
Oh my
Charles
God.
Knight and have
Dude, do you know
painted
how
on the
long it
wall.
would take for me to take anything off his walls to actually get room to paint anything?
Look,
He would stop putting things on his walls if he put that up there.
That's true, but then he wouldn't have any room for his Lego, and I know how much he values that.
Oh, that sounds like his dilemma.
I bought the Optimus
true.
Prime
Get the
set
cool-
the other
He's
week.
gonna
So
put nails
cool.
in the mural
you
that I paint.
caved. You have no willpower.
The Optimus Prime
Yeah.
set is across my room. It's been screaming at me to build it, but I haven't had time.
God damn it.
It looks.
You're not
it's-
going down the Transformers hole, are you? You said that you're gonna try and refrain.
I'm afraid of the Transformers hole.
Okay, good. I fear for you. I fear that you will go down the Transformers hole. You said that not the, what was the figurines or something? Is that what was kind of like
I don't know
the
where you're
scary
going
part
with
of
this.
it?
Oh,
I
it's
don't know
just a
what-
lot
what
of
part-
money. There's so many different
Oh,
series
okay.
and lines.
As if the
I don't-
Bionicles and Lego.
Well, I
weren't,
gotta
but
pick
that's-
one. I took
You picked two!
all of my. I maybe mentioned this on the show before. It took all of my willpower not to buy an '86 Studio Series
I think that was
Perceptor. Yeah,
Last episode, yeah.
maybe
I
he
remember
turns
you
into a
saying that.
microscope. It's so cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I do remember this.
took so much willpower not to buy that thing, but I won't. I bought the Lego one because that's like a childhood dream set. And if they
Yeah.
if they make any other Lego ones, I probably won't buy them.
Yeah.
Depends who they are. If it's G1 Megatron, I'll only buy it if he turns into a little gun.
Yeah.
But they won't do
Nice.
that. If it's Soundwave, I don't care how much it costs. Give it to me. He's my
Very
favorite.
valid,
If it's
yeah.
Bumblebee, I probably won't get it. I don't really care about him. It's my Transformers hot take. I don't give a fuck about Bumblebee.
Yeah, you told me this in the car, and I was like, oh,
It Starscream I'd buy. Really any of the Seekers I'd buy. I'd buy
so
Blitzwing.
these are.
I don't know, there's
Lego?
more. No, these are all just Transformers. Anyways,
Oh,
let's just get
okay.
back onto the. So I will. There'll be a Transformers episode at some point. I actually have a really good idea for an episode. I want to look at some of the original Japanese toys that they're all based off of. I think that would be a very
right.
interesting episode. Anyways, dinosaurs. So there was actually a second Bone Wars.
A second Bone Wars
'Cause it-
struck the.
Of Red Deer River.
It wasn't funny enough the first time. This one was not that much. This was just a
This is the
friendly.
sequel.
This was just a friendly little competition. Just two different
Up
guys.
north
So
this time.
Barnum Brown.
It's like Super Troopers where you do the sequel in Canada.
That's true. So Barnum Brown at the American Museum of Natural History and C.H. Sternberg of the Geological Survey of Canada were going around the Red Deer River,
Stinkleberg.
which is in Alberta, and they were just looking for stuff. This was much nicer. They weren't blowing each other's fossils up. They were pretty chill. They shared information and whatever. They didn't really care.
Committing mass crimes of
Yeah.
archaeological.
Yeah, they didn't.
archaeology.
They didn't do that much. This was fine.
Just
like
for funsies.
like I said, a lot of the work they did is really important. A lot of the species they named are still valid, and the work they did is the foundation of a lot of paleontological work in North America. Currently, some of the work I'm doing right now, I'm working on like some lizard material. I keep seeing references to Cope in the literature because he just did so much work on this stuff. And that's really cool to read about, or like to keep seeing actual references in scientific literature to people I grew up learning about because they were always in every dinosaur book.
Was that kind of what like sparked the PowerPoint? Because you kept seeing it, and you're like, "Oh my god, I should talk about."
No, I've wanted to do this one for a while.
Okay. Just convenient timing.
Yes. Modern paleontology would be completely different if it wasn't for these two bitter assholes. Would it have been better? Maybe.
Who
I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? But it would have been different. I mean, of course, there's still issues caused as we went over with, but it would have been very different. It also completely changed the public understanding of dinosaurs. This was made huge. This was very important in putting this stuff putting this stuff into the public's eye and getting them to care. Because before this, nobody really cared until they kept hearing about these two idiots fighting each other, and and when some of this stuff eventually made its way into museums, like these guys up here, or this here, this is Allosaurus here, which was found in the or in the Bone Wars. I'm not actually sure what he's standing on, but
Bones.
more bones. But yeah,
His
like
enemy.
this is important. Like when this stuff made its way into museums and people were like, "Oh my god, this is so cool."
The
Big
correct
bones.
reaction.
And it also led directly into the early 1900s with the invention of a little thing called the film, and the movie. So that also helped.
The moving picture.
Yes.
Indeed.
So, were we saying Ray?
I said indeed.
Oh, okay. I thought that you started a sentence.
Okay.
There was also a movie that was almost made in 2013. Steve Carell was going to play Cope, and James Gandolfini of Sopranos fame was going to be Marsh. I really wish this movie got made.
Damn it.
It would have been so funny. It would have been terrible, but I would have loved to see it. It never got
The
made,
Spy
though.
Kids of Archaeology.
I'll make the movie. There's also some books. The graphic novel that I mentioned earlier is called Bone Sharps, Cowboys, and Thunder Lizards. I haven't read it, and I don't think
That's
it's
a title.
particularly accurate from what I can tell, but it'll give you the general scope. There's also a book called Dragon Teeth, which I have read, although it's been a while. This is written by Michael Crichton, who is the same guy who wrote Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yeah. Eaters of the Dead.
Yep. I remember thinking the book was pretty good, but I do not remember if that still holds up. It's been a while. And also, this is just kind of funny that they just did all this stupid stuff, and here we are. So, that's about it, I think. That it? Yes.
Boy, have
yeah.
humans have evolved.
But,
Hooray!
yeah. So, if I missed anything, or I kind of skipped over stuff, go back and listen to the episodes there. You missed it. It's there. I definitely didn't finish this 15 minutes before we started recording.
But it's fine.
All the research was done. I was just putting it into slides.
I believe you for now.
That's why some of those slides have
I mean,
less
I wasn't here
detail
to
on than
check, so.
others. Anyways, thank you all for listening. I hope this was
Yeah.
comprehensive.
Thanks for the bones.
Bones.
That was episode 7.
Episode 7.
This is getting,
Does 7 have a significance?
it's bigger than 6 and
after
5,
6.
you know? It's just it
What?
keeps going.
But 7, 8, 9. It's a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it is.
Didn't expect the silence, but that's yeah.
Are we
I
just
feel
gonna
like-
have a miss? Are we just gonna label the next episodes as 8 and then 10 and just skip over 9 to stick to the
9's
show?
No, that'll screw up the algorithm.
But the lore, man.
That's true.
Nah, it'll be
Don't
fine.
even get me
We'll live.
started, lore.
I'll live. It'll be fine. I will leave it. It's gonna be okay. Next episode.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll probably get lazy and do Heritage Minutes Part 2.
Or a guest.
Or
Or I
We
guess.
might actually have a guest next episode. That
which
is
would give me more time to finish mine.
What else are you doing other than working? Not to be rude.
Enjoying not working.
You know what?
no.
I
Get on.
understand.
Get back to work.
Give me
the-
content.
Get the fuck on it, slave.
Yeah, Connor hasn't come over and tried to, never mind.
Where were you
Did I
going with
hold-
this?
What?
No, I'm done. I don't want to. I'm not gonna do it anymore. Yes, Ethan, what were you gonna say?
Whatever, it's not important. Let's stop the recording. Thank you so much
Okay.
for listening to
Thank
our
you for listening.
podcast about presentations about
Yes.
stuff.
Like and subscribe.
Wow, this is the
Like
first
and
time Ethan's
subscribe.
actually said the thing when it he never does it.
He never
You
does.
did it
Like
this
I
time.
did it last time.
You guys always make me do the outro.
Yeah. Wow, Ethan, we should really make him
I'm proud of
stressed
you.
out more
Wow,
Taking
often.
big
I did
steps.
so good.
Our little
I'm gonna
boy's
stop
growing up.
recording. My recording is stopped.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
night, everyone. See you
Goodbye.
next episode. Bye bye.